Get out your camcorder and put on your Peachfuzz mask, because we're talking about 2014's Creep. Directed by and starring Patrick Brice, this found-footage thriller follows Aaron, a very stupid man who accepts $1,000 from Josef, a very creepy man, to film a day in Josef's life for his unborn child before he dies. Ignoring the red flags through his camcorder screen, Aaron must find a way to maneuver Josef's weirdness in between the jump scares they needed to remind you it's a scary movie. Take those away, and it's basically just a strange white man guiding a hapless guy around with the promise of cash. If I wanted to watch that, I'd just watch Mr. Beast. This is the Trackcast.
That one's your best yet. That was really funny.
I especially appreciate that you the jump scares to remind you that it's a scary movie. And the red flags.
Yeah.
I want it to be clear, we are throwing shots at Mr. Beast. This is the Trackcast Wage of War.
This is our new. This is going to be like our Twitter beef. It's going to be our new social media enemy. We're calling you out, Mr. Beast.
He's our antagonist.
Our antagonist.
So all the track fiends, go do your thing.
Is that our fans? Are you naming them now?
No,
our track
that shouldn't be. We no. Our track fans are.
We're gonna have to come up with a name for our listeners. I want to welcome everyone to today's review of Assorted Cinema, otherwise known as the Trackcast. And I hope our listeners can hear that me and Aref have definitely improved our audio capabilities.
You're coming through loud and clear.
Yeah, I had a birthday, and my girlfriend got me a new microphone because she knew I was doing streaming and podcasting. She politely told me that my mic quality was the worst.
And I brought in some sponsorship money from our local Kroger. That's right. No, I'm kidding. No.
Yeah,
I also got a new mic as a birthday present to myself. My fiance hates me. No, I'm just kidding. She got me something already. We've been having fun with this, so I wanted to put in an investment.
Yeah, I totally didn't email Aref to upgrade his audio setup because he was, lagging us or keeping us down, or wasn't coming clear.
I told him.
You just straight up.
I told him, if you don't buck up, you're out. It's going to be the Turkcast, okay?
Honestly, same. Has anyone watched or done anything recently that they wanted to share? Recently played the game Stellar Blade and completed it, and that was pretty cool. Definitely a Nier Automata copy.
I've heard about stuff about that game, but
it feels like a classic PS2 game at times, which I don't know, like it felt good, but it also like still bleeds Dark Souls a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I will anticipate the sequel. I'm excited. The story's whatever. It's fine. Interesting enough to keep me into it.
Re-triggered about the small amount of skin that was not shown on the final product you were promised. Are you typing very angry Reddit comments for Reddit Gold?
Emails.
All I'm going to say is
nonsense.
While I can share a complicated story about how I ended up capturing all the 25 fish in the game, I unlocked a costume that you get when you unlock all 25 fish in the game, or when you can't get all fish through the fishing minigame. I ended up getting all 25 fish. The outfit that you get from that is like just fine if you want that fan servicey, thing. And like, there's plenty of outfits in the game for whatever you're into or however you want to dress her up. So, I mean, that whole controversy was just insane.
Yeah, no, for real. It's so dumb.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm just actually replaying Metal Gear Solid 5, doing like a no kill. You only extract enemies.
Oh, nice.
You can only do it so far, doing the game clean.
Yeah.
You have to kill tanks and shit, and it's almost impossible. But I could try.
Are you trying to do all the side ops too, or just some of them?
I think the side ops are the best part.
Okay, yeah.
That's just me.
That game is just so fun to play. Like, I love doing all the little side stuff in that game. It just feels good.
It's so funny, Ryan. The only presence I see of you on Steam is the fact that I go on Steam and it's like Metal Gear Solid 5. Ryan recommends this. So I'm not. Yeah. So it's kind of funny they're going through a replay.
I am playing that game on stream here and there, and I'm realizing how hard it is. And also, the game got such a bad rap for a lot of stuff.
It caught a lot of shit out the gate.
But I think people do overall look on it fondly, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
It ages well. It's fine. I love it.
I mean, and some of the shit it got, I think rightfully, like at least in like Konami's like direction with like cutting all the like story stuff and all that happened and all that nonsense. But overall, I remember the first time I beat it, I was like, this game is so good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my
great
for sure.
I love the story. I love the characters.
I love the story.
It's just MGS2 slightly different.
Yeah,
I enjoy
Bigger,
it.
for sure. It is. I wish there was more. Like, you could definitely tell he wanted to do more, Hideo Kojima.
You can't be a naked Raiden in this game in MGS5, so
that is a market.
and the naked scene.
Death Stranding, honestly, in a weird way, is its own Metal Gear Solid kind of successor. Spiritual successor. In a weird way. It's just Kojima. What about you, Aref?
I did watch. What did I watch recently? Oh, I watched Planet of the Apes. The whole
Kingdom.
4. Well, yeah, I watched all 4 of them.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just finished watching the 3 of them.
An apathon?
Yeah, I had an apathon, and I just cemented that those movies are really good. Just to shout out our Chatcast letterbox. It's on my top 10 right now. I think only Christian and I have top 10s on there, but or the third one. The third movie is in my top 10. I think right now only Christian and I have top 10s, but Ryan and Trevor to come soon.
I really feel like I should have a duty to keep up with my letterboxd, and I want to. I will make my commitment on air right now that I will try to work on my letterboxd.
You heard that here. You heard that here first, folks.
Big capital T there, capital T for try, because that's how I
capital T for Trevor.
But yeah, other than that, just work in school.
War is your favorite. It was Kingdom close second.
War is my favorite, and it's my favorite by a lot. And then after that, it's oh my god, the naming structure.
Dawn.
Number 2.
Dawn.
Then Kingdom. Then number 1. I will preface this by saying they're all good. They're all good. I think War is just a step above the rest.
Mm-hmm.
I did the Apathon, and I came out the other end liking Dawn more than War, but I feel like that's a minority opinion. I feel like a lot of people really like War, but it's not that I didn't like War. That's definitely like my second favorite, but like I don't know why I like Dawn more.
Dawn, at least for me, has a much more exciting story throughout, and not to mention Koba is a phenomenal villain. Like he's
really good. He's
really good.
He's
he's better than the villain in War, in my opinion. And
he's better than some villains in movies.
Yeah, dude's purely animated and had better acting than what's his name?
Oh, Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
You could say anybody. Oh, Woody Harrelson.
I just really like the mood and the message of War. A lot. I like it quite a lot. I'm also a big Rocket fan, and Rocket gets a lot of screen time. Yeah, Rocket gets a lot of screen time.
Man.
Best character arc in cinema, man.
I completely agree.
If you didn't know, Rocket's like the kingpin from the first movie. He's like a shithead that like beats up Caesar, and then he
his bully.
Yeah, his bully. He slowly becomes like Caesar's like left hand man. He becomes Caesar's like military arm while Maurice becomes his brain arm.
Oh yeah, Maurice there.
Like his advisor, like his foreign advisor, and
his general versus secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, enough about monkeys.
Christian,
me and the family started a new show. Well, not new. It's new to us.
Yes.
It's been out for a little bit. It's a show called Evil. Have either of you guys
heard of that?
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
I only know about it through you what you told me about it.
I think it was just added to Netflix, which is why we saw it. But it's on Paramount Plus, all 5 seasons, and I think it's entering its 5th season currently or soon or it just happened. I don't really know, but it's its last season. Really cool premise: a priest played by Mike Coulter and an atheist who's kind of like their tech guy, like he knows all this techie stuff.
And they walk into a bar.
Yeah, right. They walk into a bar when they hear reports about like, oh, there's this miracle that happened, or there's someone that's possessed by a demon, or someone can predict the future, or claims they're a prophet or something. Like, you need to go out there and investigate and make sure, like, is this real or is this fake? And like figure
professional debunkers is what you're telling me.
Did you say that like at any point in the show does it get like creepy or Like someone's a creep?
It does get a little creepy, but perhaps not as creepy as one Mark Duplass in the 2014 film Creep.
Wait, we just watched that.
Oh
No way!
Oh wow!
That was a slick segue. I'm glad I caught on.
Thank you. You can see that I was reaching for.
That's what we call an alley-oop.
That was good. That was clean.
Thank you. Christian, if you could take us away into the movie we watched, Creep here.
So this was my pick this week. Creep. You've never seen it before. It's a found footage kind of psychological thriller horror movie directed by Patrick Brice, and he's also in the movie as one of the two characters. There's only two people in this movie. There's two people and then a voice of a lady that we hear on a phone at one point.
Yeah, which is a great aspect of the film we'll get into.
It's basically kind of what I said in the intro. Like, it's just Aaron, he's hired by Josef, who's played by Mark Duplass, on Craigslist to do this little video for him, like for his unborn son.
I just want to cut in real quick here. I do want to say that I think we should tell the audience that if you want to know spoilers about Creep, I would say that this is a great movie that you should go in blind to. Like, you should not know anything about it.
That's true.
Before getting into it. Now, we'll probably like dip in a little bit here and there before we completely spoil the whole thing, but spoilers ahead, obviously, for Creep. Please, like, we urge you to definitely go watch it. I think that, like, if you go into it blind, you will be taken on a ride that is really interesting.
Like the title suggests, Josef is kind of a weirdo. He's very creepy. I chose the reason I chose this movie was because I like found footage movies. I like horror movies, first of all, and I like found footage movies. I like the dumb little cliches that are in them, trying to like see how they justify, like, oh, like, why are we filming the, stuff like that. And I think it's a very hard genre or like subgenre to do. I think it can either come off really, really hokey, like a lot of them I've seen. Stale. Like there's not a lot that really
too much. Yeah, exactly. Like,
there's not a lot that like can revolutionize the formula, especially because like stuff like Blair Witch, like, which was one of the foremost. Yeah, exactly. The Blair Thumb.
You ever seen that?
Oh my god, the Thumb movies. Oh my gosh,
I think you'd like that. I'm a big fan of me and my family. I'll make a statement here. We are Thumb fans.
I love that.
we are a pro Thumb podcast.
I love those movies, the Thumb movies, because they have kind of the same humor as like The Naked Gun or Airplane.
Yeah.
Secret.
Boomer lulls to random.
Yeah. I think that just as a quick aside while we're on it, I think those used to air on like Cartoon Network or Nick or something. I remember.
Yeah, totally.
During like Halloween and stuff.
Yeah.
They used to play Thumb Wars all the time, and then they had another one that wasn't just Thumb Wars. They had another one that was a Thumb parody, but it wasn't.
Thumbtanic, Bat Thumb.
I don't know if I ever saw that one.
Franken-Thumb's really
Bat
good.
Thumb. Maybe Franken-Thumb. I can't remember. God, my Cartoon Network rattled brain is totally like reminiscing on all that right now. Just the fun Photoshop. That was Annoying Orange before Annoying Orange, right? Like,
yeah.
In a way, it's the same thing.
Style.
He did Kung Pao too. It's the same guy, Bob Odenkirk.
No, that's Better Call Saul.
Steve Odenkirk.
Steve Odenkirk.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
They have the same last name. I get them mixed up for some reason.
You summed it up. You summed it up in terms of and I think you mentioned, like, as we were going into this, like, it's going to be a little hard to like talk about the moment to moment about this. So this is going to be kind of a broader concept chat here, because really the movie is like, you kind of just watch Aaron fall into this rabbit hole. The audience gets scared. You get led down this, from Mark Duplass, aka Creep, aka Josef. Thank you. Oh my god. Yeah, he just kind of tortures him. I don't know, stalks him, found
psychologically,
footage. Psychologically. I, as a not horror fan, as a toe dipper in horror, I liked this movie. I thought it was really good, and it did keep me engaged. I will say that, like, I wish there was a little bit more reason to like believe the situation, because it's very clear right off the bat that Aaron should have just turned around and left.
Yeah.
At any point.
No self-preservation.
But there's a little bit of chat we should have about Aaron. in terms of like he plays this character, which I feel like is really popular with indie movies, which is the sullen wannabe filmmaker that, you know, is looking for, you know, content or something, you know, to like give him his new big break.
And this took place in 2014.
Yeah, exactly. And in the age of digital, in the age of, you know, anyone can grab a camera and just like go out and, you know, shoot the next Indiana Jones. And that's the thing about Aaron that like gives me reason to go, okay, that's the only reason why I can believe that he stayed, is because like he wanted to milk Josef in a way to like get something out of that, like either like the footage to show or something. Like something about Josef to Aaron was spectacle. You know what I mean?
Intrigued him.
But I also don't know if really that's intentional. I don't know if maybe I'm digging a little too deeper here. But I don't know. The thing about Aaron and just like sinking deeper and deeper into it, like you can earlier on, I don't know, maybe I'm more paranoid than him.
Yeah, Aref, what was your assessment?
Well, yeah, I'm going down a different route. I think Aaron, it's almost like a poking fun at the horror trope of like characters not leaving.
Yeah.
Because they made it abundantly clear that he should have left, more so than other movies.
Even Josef says it.
That there was plenty of time to turn around.
There was plenty of time to turn around, yeah.
But Aaron isn't unlikable. Like I say all that not to say, you know, Aaron is unlikable.
Yeah, he seems like just a normal guy. But I do agree in the sense that if maybe they hammered home like his, because they kind of imply later on that he has like money trouble, but like if they implied earlier on that maybe like, oh, like I really need this, like I payment or something, like maybe that would justify why he would like put up with the weirdness. And his personally, my kind of interpretation of it, like there's definitely red flags. Obviously, we're watching this and we know it's a horror movie. Like there's clearly red flags, but I think there's enough to Josef's like it feels weird to say, but like his charisma in a weird way of like he's weird. He's a strange person, but he knows exactly when to like pull back or like he knows how to manipulate Aaron to be like kind of ease his worries in a way.
At some points, you're watching a sad little puppy.
Mm-hmm. He's playing on, and they mention that a lot. Like Aaron is like he's a nice guy, and he's trying to play into that. Like I'm a pathetic kind of.
I have cancer. I'm trying to film for my dog or my kid, and I gotta do tubbies.
Yeah, I gotta do tubby time.
Which is so funny because then Aaron later on in the movie literally says like, I had a dream we were having tubby time.
Yeah, I know.
Like he infected him so much.
So funny.
Which, I mean, that kind of goes into my interpretation of it being kind of like making fun of the trope. It's because this movie is very funny.
That was one of my notes. It's low-key funny.
There's comedy in it. Yeah, for sure.
It reminds me, I mean, like the main character reminds me of like the weirdo dweeb from elementary school. You know what I mean? The kid in track pants and running shoes all the time.
Like anything for a laugh. Like just any.
Yeah.
And you know, he picks his nose and eats his boogers, and you're like, oh, that guy's gross and weird, and then he just like picks up a dead rat like straight palm and just flings it around. Like, oh god.
There's something charming about him because there's an innocence or like something that he just doesn't get like we all do.
It's like, is he nefarious or is he just kind of simple, you know?
and there's enough of those kind of malicious comments spread out that you don't really know, like, is he just being weird or is there like at one point they go hiking and he's like, hey, you saw my axe out front, right? That was lodged in the stump. And he's like, hey, was there a part of you that thought I was going to kill you with it?
Yeah,
and
it's like very early on.
It's very like what? Like, why would you say that? But like, you know, but then you're kind of second guessing yourself. Like, is he just a weird, awkward guy? Because that's the title. The title of the movie is perfectly chosen, I think, because it's not like creep could imply any degree of, you know, like killer or like crazy, you know, psycho, you know.
Like, I can be probably creepy sometimes. Let's be honest.
I'm a bit of a creep.
Okay. Wait a second. Hold on. I was admitting it. That means all you have to admit it too.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, sir.
What the hell?
What the hell am I doing
What
here?
the hell? What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
No, I get what you mean. I get you.
I wrote down that the moment with the axe, if I wasn't already gone, which is the moment with the axe is maybe 20 minutes in the movie, 15 minutes, 30. The movie's quick. That moment with the axe is definitely when I would have left.
Like, okay, I'm good. Let's go.
If I wasn't already gone, that's the moment where I would genuinely be gone. So I'm no longer in the movie anymore. I'm no longer in Aaron's shoes.
This is where Trevor leaves the movie.
If I was Aaron, no way.
See, I would have left at Tubby time.
As soon as he's like, all right, let's get in the tub.
Water in that bathtub. As a certified tubby time enjoyer, I will say it here. I'm striking my line in the sand. I am a certified tubby time enjoyer, and as a certified tubby time enjoyer, there needed to be more water in that bathtub.
As soon as that man pulled his cock out and then waterboarded himself, I would be like, all right, take your grand back.
You can have your 1,000 back.
Yeah.
At some point in the movie, you can kind of get onto Joseph's page. Like, you're kind of like, okay, I know what you're doing. You can tell that he's like making up stuff on the fly.
Yeah, he forgets things later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he shows off the Peachfuzz mask and he like does that stupid song, like oh, this is like a weird, creepy mask that is totally normal and was something that my dad like
would wear and sing to me in.
I wanted to bring up that scene especially because like that scene was the perfect encapsulation, like an internet like cringe video, like just like the
someone in their bedroom,
and that to me is like the real, like that's like the horror kind of angle of this movie.
This could find its way online into forums.
But you guys really hit the nail on the head for sure. Of like when he's for clarity, by the way, there's this little like werewolf mask. It's very scary, like creepy looking. That Aaron finds, and then Josef is like, oh, that's just Peachfuzz, like. And then, like Trevor said, like he makes up this story. Like you can clearly tell he's making it up. And then he does this little song, and you can tell that was just both Josef and the actor just making up some song off the top of his head.
But there's that desperation quality in there, though, that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
that's
like got to keep him here.
It's like it's creepy and weird, but it's also like watching like a house fire, and it's just getting worse and worse by the moment. But you're still like kind of like, what is going on here with this guy? Talks about a wife, no sign of a wife. Josef really stole the show. I mean, there's only 2 people in the movie. Let's talk about that for a second.
I mean, 1.5. Let's be real.
1.5. Like,
yeah.
The idea to just have the movie be like someone's holding a camera, and Josef is interacting with them, doing this like kind of documentary style. I'm assuming that the movie is a lot of improv, and it's just kind of like, okay, general outline stuff, which...
Yeah, so I did have some kind of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Oh, yeah, please. No, please take it away.
No, you hit the nail on the head, yeah. I looked it up, and Mark Duplass said in an interview the concept of movies like My Dinner with Andre, where it's just like 2 people having a conversation.
With Wallace Shawn and someone else. I can't think.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it's just 2 people having a conversation, but I've never seen it.
They like that concept of just 2 people, and they're like, well, what if it was about this kind of Craigslist, these weird interactions you have with people, and then kind of sprung from there. Yeah, I think the story is that initially they just went out to this cabin for like a week. They had like a 5-page outline of a plot, and then they just kind of filmed stuff and improv'd pretty much like all the dialogue, and then just had something, and then they kind of just worked with that. And I love, that's another reason I love this movie, is I love just kind of like the low budget kind of scrappiness of it, like just the filmmaking aspect of it.
Yeah, it's great.
They just have a camcorder and we're just going to go and film and we'll figure it out. Like,
what's the budget? Let's look for it.
Yeah, it's like they just rented out the cabin and that was it. Like they used genuine lighting there. Like they probably asked the people to film, obviously, too.
Well, on location shots.
They hit the nail on the head with the random Craigslist human interaction. That's what it feels like. That is exactly. Oh my god! Because I just to go on a personal anecdote. One time in college, I was broke, as a college student is, and we needed to buy a washer dryer because we were renting out a house for You guys remember my crack den?
I remember this.
Crack den, your classic crack den.
The Resident Evil house.
Resident
Evil.
It looks terrible. We had a washer and dryer outside. We went to go buy this washer and dryer, and there's this guy who it was mid COVID time, and he was like, you could tell he was pretty lonely. But when I started talking to him, he spouted off, I swear to God, I probably 20 to 25 different conspiracy theories, like just like going in between them on this in his like decrepit barn filled with washers and dryers, nothing else.
Oh my God.
Well, he trapped
He had
you.
Monopoly.
Oh my
And then
God.
I couldn't leave because I was like, I need this washer and dryer. My clothes are fucking dirty. I was horrified. I could have died. I was Aaron, yeah.
You talk to a next generation being, dude.
But the worst part is when I picked up the washer and dryer, like 3 or 4 people with cognitive disabilities came out to pick up my washer and dryer and put it in the truck. Who are they? And he was like, oh, I just keep them around. I find them on the street and I get them to work for me.
That's what the hell?
Whoa.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. He did not pay them. I asked him. He doesn't pay him. And I was like, I just got to get the fuck out of here. Washer dryer broke after a month.
Northern California is just as strange.
Bro,
as
this movie
Southern
probably hit so
California.
different for you. Like, you could have been Aaron, dude. Like,
I have a Craigslist creep.
please.
Back in the day,
Your
my
is a
dad.
Craigslist creep.
Well, my dad's a Craigslist fiend. He's the one that goes on Craigslist. Anyways, my dad gave me an Xbox 360. This Xbox 360 was modded, which meant that I could play games that were downloaded onto a DVD. Eventually, I had to like get the disk drive of it flashed again to like adapt to the new firmware changes that Microsoft was putting out or something like that. My dad found this guy on Craigslist, and he was a nice guy, but like when he greeted us, he was in his underwear. And he was like literally boxers. And he's like, oh, hey, whatever. And he's like, yeah, like I mod my games, or I mod consoles and I, sell games, to make a profit.
How old was this guy?
I want to say he was like in his like 40s or 50s. Definitely. Like he was older.
So he's definitely in his 70s now. Wait. No, he's probably in his 60s now. What year is this?
He had a bowl cut. This was, it had to have been 2012, 2011.
He had the Gohan bowl cut. That's crazy.
Bowl cut, and he wore very small glasses. He lived in Hayward in a condo. We gave him an Xbox. We were expecting to be like, okay, like here's the Xbox. Like, what do you got to do or whatever? And he's like, oh, it'll take about an hour. He was like, you can have a seat. And we're in his bedroom.
Oh my God.
And it's me and my dad, and we're just like, okay. And then we sit, and then we talk. I don't remember what we talked about, but it was just chat about probably like games that I like, and why we're doing it, and like, like it's so much cheaper. You don't have to pay $60 a game. That's crazy. The market has gone. Graphics are really improved nowadays. Back in my day, we had Atari. Just nonsense like that.
He was doing something he could have done before you got there, but too.
Well, no, we had to give him the Xbox.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But
He took
like,
a hostage.
but what happened was we left, but we had to visit him multiple times.
Oh God.
We got to know him more, and he shared with us like a lot more about his like personal life. And then,
Oh no, he's a little too eager to share.
yeah, and then like I'm not gonna get into all that, but like it was just yeah. And we met his wife, who like you could tell that they didn't like each other, and they started like yelling at each other while we were there one time. Oh gosh. She said, yeah, that it's actually his sister. You hit the nail on the head, Aref. I really think you did there. But yeah, anyways, he was my Craigslist creep, I would say.
Crazy.
God, interacting with random strangers online for like those types of meetups is always horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, again, kind of like I prefaced before the movie, like I said, there's not a whole lot to really much of this movie. He's just kind of a creep, and he's weird to Aaron. There's one part that is, at least I remember the first time I watched it, was one of the first clues that Josef is not just a creep. I mean, he is a creep, but there's a little more going on, and it's when they go hiking, and they find this like little heart-shaped rock formation, and they're like, oh, it's kind of like a nice moment. It kind of like takes you takes you down, a bit of like the weirdness. And then Josef is like, oh, like I know this great diner. They have the best pancakes in the world. Let's go there. And he's like, okay. And then it hard cuts, and they're in the diner. And then the first thing out of Josef's mouth is, I wonder what's good that they have here.
Oh my god, I didn't even catch that.
That's one of the first little indications that something isn't right here. Which I really love all the little things they drop. And there's things you notice kind of even on rewatches, because I've seen this like a few times at this point. And there's stuff I hadn't even noticed really until this one.
Oh yeah,
too.
we didn't even say it. Like I haven't seen the movie. Ryan has seen the movie.
Yes.
Christian's seen the movie, and Aref has not seen the movie. So
I have not seen the movie.
Two of us first timers.
Christian.
Yes.
At the beginning, Aaron is walking up the steps, and it's all creepy, and he has to walk up the weird driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out at the diner, specifically, the creep is taking photos of Aaron as he's walking up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Josef is getting different angles and moving around. Because at the beginning, Aaron gets up, no one's home. He, like, walks down again, gets in his car, and gets jump scared. Can you see him? Like, are there, like, shots of him?
I actually don't know. I've never thought to look. I should, because I always forget about that. But I actually don't know. That would be interesting if you could. And now I kind of want to rewatch that opening scene to see if you can.
Yeah, I wonder how many little Easter eggs there probably are, because like there might be some.
So after that diner scene, and there's kind of some more, creepiness. Obviously, yeah, like Ryan said, Josef admits, oh, I was watching you when you first came here, and I hope you can forgive me. And he's like, yeah,
creepiness is in full force here.
And then they go back home at night, and it's dark. And then I made a specific note here. There's this shot where Aaron is like panned up, looking at Josef on the top of the porch, like stairs, and like the lights behind him. And that's like the poster of the movie. Man, when they got that shot, they knew, they're like, this is the gold mine. This is perfect.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest turning point of the movie.
And it's just, it's so funny because that shot is really scary. And then you remember that dude's wearing like New Balances.
His rolly backpack.
Big old sweatpants.
Yeah, big old, like, he's wearing the puffer jacket. He is not archetypically.
Yeah, he's just like a goober.
Yeah, creepy. Yeah.
Which I think heightens Mark Duplass's performance. I think he's so good in this. Like
I agree.
He's perfectly cast because he has like that perfect kind of attitude, and he knows how to play it up, but also come off unassuming.
He's very good in The Morning Show. If any of you guys ever watched that,
and The League, which Ryan, you've watched.
Yeah, that's right.
You said too.
It was at that point when they're going up the stairs for me, where I was like, oh, okay, he's just lonely, He just really wants companionship, and it's just that archetype of person who that they're so desperate for interaction that, and instead of just like being a normal person, they do everything to try to extend that human interaction. So that's where all the pathological lying is coming from.
Yeah, there's a point where he's literally begging for him not to like go, and he's like, "Come on,
exactly." Yeah. And I think I do think that kind of goes into what disarms Aaron.
I've had like elementary school friends that are like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Compulsive liars.
Yeah.
Except the difference is, you knew them, and at least for me, I've told them to go away.
Oh, you're so better at that. You're so much better at that than I am.
So then it's at this point they go inside and they have a little drink and they're talking, and Josef is kind of like, like you're hurting for money, right? Like, I'll get you some money, kind of using more of those kind of manipulative tactics to try to kind of lure him in and lower his guard. But Aaron is definitely like not having it. He's definitely like, okay, like it's it's getting late, I gotta go. Another thing that I remember Ryan clued in on too when we were watching it, he pointed out they cheers, they're drinking whiskey at one point. Very obviously Josef does not drink at all.
He like barely kisses like the glass, like the rim of like the Scotch glass.
Yeah, which I think is such a nice little detail just to kind of like further drive home that something isn't right here.
Yeah, creepy got to be on his A game.
Aaron is like, okay, I gotta go, and he can't find his keys. Classic horror trope, can't find his keys. Josef definitely took them. he tells this story, whatever. Aaron, they're like, okay, it's fine. I'll stay for another drink. It's fine. And we see in the background, and this is kind of one of the negatives I wrote. In the background, we see Aaron spike one of the glasses with something. We presume it's drugs or something to
Benadryl.
Yeah, Benadryl, as we later learn. And I think that part was definitely not set up. It was kind of a weird, like, anti-Chekhov's gun. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense narratively. Like, I understand why it happened, because at this point, why would Aaron not be suspicious? So he had to do something to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's like, where did he get the Benadryl from? How did this get set up? Where is this coming from? Not to mention, I know Benadryl makes you sleepy. It doesn't KO you like that. Dude was asleep like he just got fully roofied.
It was actually just smelling salts.
It was smelling salts.
Aaron just got him on all day.
But yeah, no, it's very fast acting, because even as soon as he drinks it, he's like, "Ooh, was that strong to you?"
It's not performed or given to the audience in like a way where you don't believe it, though. That's the thing. It's like on first watch and like going through it and going through the movie, you don't realize how kind of like silly that scene is until like really afterwards, because there is a tension there. Like if you're watching, like there is a very kind of like specific tension of like, will he pass out? Will he lash out? Will he, do something weird here? That was one thing that like why I kind of do like that scene, because and I also think it's also a vehicle to like, show that, oh, like when he's drugged or when he's under the influence, like he can like let out a little bit more information. Then like the Angela scene happens where he's like talking, where Aaron steals his phone and talks to Angela, who Josef said was his wife, but we find out is his sister in this scene. Then she spoon feeds it to you that, oh, you should leave, get out of there. My brother Josef is a weirdo. Like, he's not well.
He's not well. Yeah.
He's physically weird.
Can you give context for the phone stealing?
After Aaron gives Josef the Benadryl in the scotch, he comes to him with the intention of saying, bottoms up. It cuts a little bit later, and it goes to Josef now kind of like slurring his words and wanting to do more, recording, but then he passes out. That's when Aaron steals his phone, when it starts ringing, and then the Angela scene happens.
Yeah, and he is looking for his keys at that point.
Because he's under the suspicion, I think, that Josef has his keys.
I know why Josef has the keys, because when they leave the house to go dick around in the woods and find hard stuff, Josef's driving Aaron's car.
That's true.
Oh.
That is true.
Oh.
He must have driven back. He probably just had the keys.
He probably, just kept...
And then that's why he wanted him in the house so bad.
That makes
because
sense.
on the stairs...
All right.
Aaron didn't even leave. He could have just been like, I'll get the footage to you another time. I have to edit it, cut it down, because you're being weird. Your baby doesn't want to see this, whatever. And then, but he doesn't. He goes inside and he's like, all right, I have him and his keys, so they're probably gone.
Oh, you know what? I just had an epiphany about the freaking movie. You mentioned the baby. The baby's name is Buddy, like a friend.
Yeah.
All Josef really wanted was a friend.
He just wants
Not
a companion.
a baby.
Yeah, you're right.
And Aaron was that. I don't know. Like, as the movie goes in, like, Josef kind of is playing with Aaron. Like, for sure.
Much like a wolf and his prey, perhaps.
Like a wolf and his prey, yeah. At this scene, at this moment in the movie, clued in that there's definitely something that isn't right with Josef.
Yeah,
So,
because when he's talking to Angela in the bathroom, she doesn't even say specifically. She's just like, okay, you just need to leave right now.
Yeah.
My brother's not well. And he's like, I can't find my keys. He's like, that's okay. Just walk out and just walk.
Which is like the normal thing to do.
And that's like the big, I would say that's like the big twist of the movie, right? Is like Angela's not really his wife.
One of the big twists. Yeah, I mean, after that, like, we know that at this point that Aaron is like just his prey.
I don't even really think that this movie needs a twist. If there is one, it is that this movie is just playing on like natural human politeness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The entire time, it's
Yeah.
very in your face
Yeah.
that face that Josef is a fucking weirdo, and that he shouldn't be around him. Like, there's no surprises really, but the psychology of it is playing on the fact that you're just like trying to be nice to this stranger who's like obviously going through a hard time.
And it is given off the in the very beginning that like he does say he has a brain tumor. So like perhaps Aaron is also thinking that like, well, he's kind of crazy because he's dying and has a brain tumor. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Then he keeps lying about everything. Well, they get into a scuffle, is what happens.
Yeah, well, because he goes back out and Joseph's awake, and then Aaron basically is like, okay, it's fine. Like, I know everything. Talk to Angela. And as soon as Joseph hears that, he runs rapidly to the front door, down the stairs to the front door.
Oh, and this man can fucking move.
Yeah. Well,
He
he's
flies.
got
He
the
is so
Nikes,
fast.
He's got the New Balances. He's got the sweats on. He's ready for movement.
I know I keep bringing this like child analogy, but like he moves how a kid running down the stairs would move.
Mhm.
Yeah, like he runs
yeah,
away from him like a game of tag.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he's
It's
like,
crazy.
oh, like you can't get me. Like
It's like it's funny, but it adds to the eeriness in a way that's I feel like is unique.
as he runs down the stairs, he's at the end of it, blocking the exit, and he's wearing that freaking wolf mask. It's
Peachfuzz.
creepy.
He's just a happy little wolf.
Peachfuzz, yeah.
He's wearing it, and then he's like, Joseph, you gotta let me out, please. Like you're scaring me. And then they get into a scuffle, and then it kind of hard cuts, and you're like, what?
What happened?
This was a fun part of the movie too. Is it hard cuts to the found footage again, and we see Joseph dragging these like trash bags up a hill, and then he's like shoveling dirt, like as if he's digging a grave, and we're like, oh my god, he killed Aaron. He's burying him.
Oh my god, he killed Aaron!
You bastard!
You bastard!
Then the camera turns around, and it's Aaron. Oh my god, he's
Oh my
alive!
god!
He got out. That was a fun fake out.
I like
That
that,
was
and
a
especially
fun
because
fake
it
out,
kind of
yeah.
comes back later, which we'll get into. But like, Aaron's okay. You go through like the thought, like, oh, Aaron's okay, and then you go, wait, if Aaron's okay, then what? And
Kind of where like the second act of the film starts, where it's mostly from just Aaron's perspective at home, and
after what happened, he got out.
he explains. He's like, we scuffled. He ran into the woods. I just ran. I got my car towed. We figured it out. But then he's like, I got this thing in the mail, and he's like he has my address now. I don't know how that happened. And I was thinking about it. You could probably explain that he got the address because he had Joseph's phone on him. Definitely could have traced where his phone
totally.
was and got the location, and then that's how he got his address. But obviously, that could be an explanation. It's also just creepy if it's not explained too. It's just figured it out. And then from there, this to me was kind of maybe the weaker part of the movie, if only because Mark Duplass wasn't on screen. Like I just think he was probably the best part of the movie. Not to shit on Patrick Brice or anything. He did fine.
After we know that he has his address, Aaron is still scared that Joseph could come and hurt him. Then we get this like cut to Aaron in bed at night, and he's talking about like these strange dreams he's having. Then the dream is crazy. You can tell that Aaron, he doesn't have like feelings for Joseph. It's not that, but there's like a weirder appreciation.
Yeah, it's more sympathy, I think, for sure. He's like, they're in a hot tub or something, and then they're like, or they're having a tubby time, exactly.
They're having tubby time, yeah. And isn't he wearing the Peachfuzz mask?
They're wearing the mask, and he's like, I'm wearing like a baby wolf mask, and all this stuff.
I have a son of the mask.
That's so funny because Joseph said that Peachfuzz was his dad's mask.
Kind of like a generational thing going on.
It's very interesting. That the whole thing with the baby being Buddy, and then Aaron being the baby with the mask, and there's a lot of like threads there. I don't know exactly. Like, there's a pinpoint somewhere, and maybe that what I'm talking out loud is the pinpoint. The connecting thread. But like, there's something there. I'm not crazy.
Is he also constantly calling him Buddy the entire time too?
I think he does a couple times.
I think he does a couple times, yeah.
And like you can tell and it's like you can tell he's not referring to the quote unquote son. Like he's referring to Aaron. So then from there he gets a package in the mail, and then he gets a little video, and it's like, hey, and in the package it's what, a knife, another video, and then like a stuffed wolf.
Yep.
And he's like, like this is representative of you and me, and like you have a little wolf inside you too. And he rips open the wolf, like he tells him to, and there's a little like the stupid little heart locket. Yeah. with their
It's totally from like
so funny.
the engraving store in the mall. It's just like the cheapest like heart
Yeah.
locket with like
Yeah,
engraving
that's
special.
Yeah,
and it's a picture of Joseph and Aaron
he
together.
got it at fucking Things Remembered.
Oh yeah, things remembered. Ryan pointed out that the photo that he used is a photo that when he was stalking.
Yeah,
Which I mean, he's probably shit out of the photo, but it's so funny. It's so
It's
funny.
just the details and the funniness. Yeah.
and then the picture of Joseph is just him like at the beach, like going.
Yeah.
He looks
Like
genuinely
smile, grin to grin, smile.
Smile.
Oh, smile.
No, he's just smiling. He's just smiling ear to ear, and it's like it's almost a little endearing. You know what I mean?
It's like
Yeah.
God, this movie was so funny. It's like it's funny in a good way. It's intentionally funny.
Like you can tell they're trying to be funny and not take itself too seriously.
Yeah,
But it's also like it's not like calling attention to its funniness either. Like it's just kind of naturally, bizarrely funny.
It's bizarrely funny.
he gives you know what he gives Bizarro NoHo Hank.
He does, yeah. He does.
Mirror World.
Yeah,
also
Mirror
works.
World NoHo Hank. From Barry.
Reverse
Yeah.
Hank.
Yeah, from Barry. I can totally see that.
So then it's at this point that we get some more night scenes, and there's that really creepy one where you see Aaron is recording himself in the night, and it's just like the camera is just stationed on his like nightstand or something, and Aaron is just sleeping, and then the camera lifts up, and you're like, oh,
It's floating away.
yeah, it's the ghost of the wolf picking it up.
Trying to save Aaron.
You know, obviously it's Joseph, and he cuts a lock of his hair off, and it's all just kind of traditional, kind of creepy stalker stuff.
Creepy stalker.
And then it's at this point, after that we kind of get to the final part where Joseph sends him the last video. It says like final video or something like that. And then the final video is when he's like Joseph in like this park or whatever, overlooking a lake. Listen, Aaron, like, I know we had our tough times, like, and I'm sorry I lied to you, but like, I just wanted a friend, you know, like again, playing on his, you know, manipulation and
Yeah.
Aaron's, you know, niceness or whatever. I understand if you don't want to ever see me again, but like, if you just give me one more chance, I'll explain everything, and like, we'll just get it all out, and then you never have to see me again. Whatever, like, just let's get some closure. I'll be at this park.
Be there.
Be there, be square, essentially.
This part kind of contributes to me thinking that Aaron is like archetypally stupid.
He's horror movie dumb. Yeah,
He's horror movie dumb, but it's intentional because number one, he sees that video, he goes. I have to say this: there's footage of Joseph like stalking his house and cutting off his hair.
Yeah.
That Aaron just doesn't watch.
yeah, on Aaron's camera.
Aaron films himself while he's sleeping.
Well, hold on. I do want to ixnay that just real quick because it's more likely that Aaron actually isn't watching the footage.
Why isn't he watching the footage?
Probably a thing that why he's doing it. I think he's probably also doing it for the documentary of it. And I think he was planning on probably looking over it in a cut when he would bring it from camera to computer.
Yeah, and maybe he assumed like, it's just me sleeping, whatever. You know, it's not.
That's my thought, but you're right. No, but why would he do it for security, but then not look over the footage every night?
No,
Yeah.
I think I'm undermining the idea of it being a documentary and him like filming it as an expose almost of a crazy person.
But it doesn't mean the idea wasn't conveyed clearly.
It wasn't
Yeah.
conveyed,
Not trying to
but also, why would he film himself sleeping in the off chance that it happens that not want to review it?
Exactly.
All
you need to do is fast forward through it to see.
Yeah,
if
I don't know.
happens.
Maybe all the beers from the microbrewery that he frequents has gone to his brain.
He's so LA type. That's
he's
my
very
thought.
LA
That's
type.
LA soy jack type.
just the like I said, like the wannabe film director that wants this project. Which I'm happy that this movie exists. I'm not saying that this movie is bad or he's like trying to portray himself in it. I do know that this the guy who acts and directed this movie, he ended up directing a movie. Was it for Netflix?
I think it was. I think so.
I think it's a Netflix original movie. It's called
There's
a
someone
Stranger in
inside your house.
There's someone inside your house. And
There's a creep inside your house.
There's a creep inside.
but like to say that the least that like this guy knows how to direct a movie and knows how to make a good movie for sure.
I think he
like,
wrote it too. I think they both wrote it.
Yeah, they
Okay.
both kind of did the outline and all that.
And we assume it's improv. Like some of it's probably just like multiple takes.
While I dig on the LA director type with the filmmaking and the, oh man, like this guy knows what's up. Like he knows his stuff.
Because of how they were doing it, where they were basically just kind of off the cuff, doing these lines and doing these scenes and had an outline where they just filmed scenes, they were able to kind of screen the footage, not just like the script. They would screen footage for like family and friends and stuff to kind of gauge interest and be like, okay, well, is this scene working? Like, and they'd be like, no, make it creepier, make it scarier, or whatever. And like, it was kind of an interesting process in terms of the filmmaking of just being able to show people like, this is the raw footage we have, like what's working. And I think Mark Duplass or maybe Patrick Brice, I can't remember who said it, but I think one of them had said that like, yeah, there's multiple scenes that we did where there's like a bunch of different endings to the scene because it's just how we did it.
Interesting.
Oh.
It's just how we
they
improv
repeat
it.
the scene here and there, but then like they'd see which ones fit in.
Mm-hmm. Which ones fit best, and then they also work because this is also produced by Blumhouse too. So Jason Blum, I think, was kind of a work on that. How they filmed it, just being them two, in a house. I think it kind of benefited being able to film it like that.
Think small, man from Earth.
Small, you can exactly, man from Earth, exactly.
There
just need a camera.
Yeah. I mean, man from Earth is only like 2 degrees away from this.
There's literally not a single other person in this movie, I don't think.
No, even in the diner, you don't see anybody. So yeah, then the final scene happens, and we see Aaron agree. Well, he doesn't just say, "Oh, I'm going." It cuts, and he's gone to the park, and he sets up a little camera on his dashboard, and he's like, "Okay, I'm filming this. My phone is on 911, like speed dial. Like I'm like, if something happens, there's evidence of everything, right?
I'm so safe.
And it's this long shot of him walking to this bench to sit down, and he does. And then there's a little bit of pause of time to kind of build suspense, and then you see right behind him, Josef appears in a trench coat, and he takes his sweet time putting on the Peachfuzz mask.
It's on that Peachfuzz mask.
It's framed perfectly because you don't really know what he's doing, and then he pulls up he pulls up the axe, Chekhov's axe. He kills him. He just kills Aaron in broad daylight.
That scene is so beautiful because you just don't know what he's doing. When he first takes out the axe, he kind of drops the head on the floor a little bit, and I even go, "Oh
like,
man,
he isn't gonna do it."
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh man, dude littered." I didn't know it was an axe. I thought he just dropped like his script or something. I was like, I didn't know what was going on.
It was his axe sheath.
And then it all the suspense culminates in just like a thunk. It wasn't the kill wasn't crazy. He just shoved the axe into his head,
and it's so brutal in just how blunt it is. It's just so
it's definitely realistic.
Yeah,
at least I'd like to think it's realistic. Like it's realistically done, and it's just it's weighty, it's chunky, it's katunk. Yeah.
And then it pauses. We see the camera turn around, and the whole movie has been from the perspective of Josef watching the movie.
So you're telling me that this is a movie that was recorded on a camera? That was
this is like an
movie?
It's like an old DSP Let's Play. So and then he's like, "Oh, like Aaron, like you were my favorite. I'll love you forever." And then he does a really interesting thing here, and I think it kind of ties into one of the themes of the movie that Mark Duplass has gone on record talking about in interviews about like choosing the title Creep. Like, why is it called Creep?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had said that one of the kind of guiding themes or ideas that kind of sprung from the movie was like, well, obviously Josef is like a creep. He's the weirdo. He's a crazy person. As we learn, he is a serial killer. There's also a weirdness to Aaron. Like why is he lingering around this guy? Like, why is he so weirdly kind of obsessed with him? And it kind of begs you the question of like, who is the creep? Like, how do we define like who's the weird one kind of in the situation?
Yeah, like there's a reason that Aaron keeps doing it, and perhaps it is because like he likes to do this kind of thing.
Or maybe there's a darkness in him too, kind of like
Yeah.
what Josef implies.
Going back to the moment where Aaron drugs Joseph. At that point I was questioning myself. I was like, am I really assuming the person who's the creep is the real creep? Because Aaron holds the camera on Joseph while he's sleeping and snoring for a good like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just filming him sleep.
It is weird. Like, why would you be doing that?
Yeah, and I was like, just going back to Christian's point, I'm like, oh, who really is there? I mean, obviously, I think the murderer is the biggest creep out here, but Aaron also is truly strange. He is a weird fucking dude. And he is enjoying filming all these weird ass things that Joseph's doing.
Yeah.
And in some way, creeping in on Joseph's personal life.
Oh.
Theoretical personal life, despite the fact that I doubt any of this is real.
Exactly. Because part of that kind of conversation that Joseph is having with the camera after we see him kill Aaron is he's like, it was so smart that you did all this. You put the camera there and you had 911 ready and he's like, but it was so dumb. Why didn't you just turn around?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little too easy.
And he's like, and you know why? It's like, because you're a nice person. You're a sweet person. You were trusting. And you shouldn't have, frankly. You shouldn't have trusted me. And he's like, and that's why I will always love you, Aaron. And it's just so creepy and so gross.
The titular creep.
Ooh. And then the film ends with Joseph getting another call. Now he's calling himself Bill. He's like, oh, this is Bill. He's like, yeah, you just need to come out and film for this thing. He's luring someone else in. And then we see him put the DVD of Aaron's death next to a whole shelf of DVDs and VHSs with names on them. And that is like, that is such a great closing shot. Because it's like, he has been doing this for as long as like VHSs to the point that he had to go to DVD. Like, he's been doing this for so long.
He's been at this for a while.
Yeah, like he is a prolific serial killer just doing that.
He has to be.
This movie, it feels like incredibly based in reality.
Yeah.
Everything, I mean, besides some like dumb character decisions, but everything from like the glory kill at the end, which is just like a big thunk, the anticlimactic hit, to the police's response to Aaron saying he thinks he has a stalker. He
talks to them at one point.
What the fuck do you want us to do?
He doesn't live there. Like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, you don't have a name. You don't have a last name. Okay, buddy. And I think that's what makes it funny, because you kind of like witness the absurdity of this archetype of person, but also and what makes it so eerie, because you're like, oh man, I met one of these fuckers at REI.
This could have been me.
This is the kid in elementary school that dry palmed a dead rat.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, speaking from experience. I do want to point out one thing. So I'm a horror fan, as established from the Smile episode, but I've never seen this. I absolutely love the way they did jump scares in this movie. I'm not a jump scare fan because I think it's cheap, but I do this thing. It could be annoying, could be endearing, who knows? Where I like to say when I think a jump scare is about to happen, just because it's pretty, it's pretty predictable. I was wrong almost every time. I was not able to predict the jump scares, and then you'd have a jump scare like a few scenes later, and I'd shit my pants and Scooby-Doo run across the room. Like it got me so bad, and the fact that it got me so bad made me love it.
I think that like one thing that like is about the jump scares that totally work is that like it's just a guy popping into frame. Like, I scared you. Like, but they're just so brief and sudden and loud, and that it works.
There's oftentimes no lead up, no music, nothing. Boom.
Yeah, it works for the like. I think jump scares like are more often than not used cheaply, obviously because they're overdone. But I don't think they have no place. I think they definitely do have a place in horror movies. And I think in this film, where this is kind of the most like that's the most like moments that happen in it. I think it works for the format and the situation.
With traditional horror, I feel like jump scares are used to build tension or to be a climax of tension, but jump scares are almost always preceding a moment of inherent safety, right? So it's always, I scared you, haha, I'm joking,
Mm-hmm.
and all the moments of genuine risk. So Josef being in Aaron's house, the kill, there wasn't a jump scare. Josef was just there. He just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they never use jump scares as a way to cheaply build that tension, like Christian was saying, but rather as just like it almost just like a compliment to the movie. It's they just happen. They're not a tool, which I personally enjoyed. I don't want to glaze this movie up too much, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was class A, but overall, I thought it was very, very well done.
Yeah. Do we want to move into ratings to wrap this up? Maybe Trevor, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, totally. Man, I really did like this movie. I'm not a huge horror guy, as previously stated, but I would have to say, like, just in terms of techniques, acting, success in its its concept, I give it a solid 8 out of 10 for sure. Like, definitely a high rating. It's a very technically well done movie. There's something to enjoy here for a lot of people. There's a little bit of comedy. There's a little bit of, a horror or a lot of horror. And there's a lot of layers that I think that you can peel back and a lot of themes that you can pursue. So as we have found out. So yeah, I would give it that 8 out of 10. I'm going to pass it over to Ryan.
The first time I saw this, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought it was like some guy being goofy and just being weird and killing the guy at the end. Well, on the second viewing, seeing how Josef fucks up his story, and like I know at the end, so now I'm like, oh, he's like not even good at this. Like he stinks at this.
Yeah, you see him like having moments where he's like thinking, like, oh, what am I gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect! You hit the nail on the head. How he keeps fumbling, he's not good, and Aaron just keeps steamrolling over that. He's like not picking these up, or he's just willfully ignoring them because he's too sympathetic or he's lonely. And it really put me in an uncomfortable spot. I'm like, oh man, dude, this is just fucking creepy. And movies don't really do that to me as often. So I'd probably just give the movie, out of just like it being creepy based on the name, like 7.5 out of 10. I love this movie. It's pretty good.
But I'm gonna go off the bat and I'm gonna rate it. You can see the bias. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. I loved it. It might even breach into my top 10 horror movies.
Oh,
I very, very much enjoyed it. I think the movie is incredibly unique. It follows a plot line that I don't think is typical. This is definitely greatly benefited by the fact that I went into this blind. I assumed that this movie was just like, typical person home alone with a stalker outside. I was like, okay, here we go again. This will be, run of the mill slasher. Lo and behold, it takes the whole sociopath archetype and applies it to the most dweeby fucking dude of all time. And it make that element makes it so funny and so relatable, but also terrifying because it's like, oh, what is this guy gonna do? He comes off so unassuming, like, oh, this guy can't kill anybody. He's just weird and like doughy. Like he's not gonna hurt our protagonist, but he ends up being, a crazy person. And I think that's just such a original aspect that you don't normally see is diffusing the situation via the killer themselves rather than, other random tension breaks or what have you. Add that to comments I've made about the craftsmanship of the movie with the jump scares, and the jump scares and the tension building. I find myself genuinely enjoying it, and I think if you're into a more abstract film, go for it. You're gonna love it. Christian?
So I mean, maybe I'm a little biased because it was my film. But no, I think I would follow Aref's review there. I think I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as well. I think it doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything. It's pretty simple plot, but what it does like really, really like technically well. For just having two people in the movie, off the cuff dialogue, they really had a solid story in mind, and they knew what they wanted to do. And I think there's a lot of really interesting themes and things that you can pick up on multiple viewings that you might not initially, especially on like a blind watch. And I think it's just a pretty fun, concise, good, enjoyable time. I think it's helped, especially by the fact that it's such a simple plot. It's a very short movie, and it kind of knows to not overstay its welcome, which I think helps the pacing a lot. So, yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite horror movies. It's definitely my favorite found footage film, and I have a good few of those that I really like. But this has always been one that's really stuck with me, and even on multiple viewings, I still find stuff that I like about it. So, yeah, I'd say a 9 out of 10 for sure. I really liked it.
Just to add on to what you're saying, Christian, I hate found footage. I don't like almost any of them. Yeah, I really, really dislike it. I think that formula makes the movie boring.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, have you seen Blair Witch?
Yeah, I've seen Blair Witch. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
you're not like a huge. Yeah, I was about to say you're not a huge Blair Witch fan.
No, the one movie I do kind of like is oh my god, I can't think of the name. Big Monster. Cloverfield. Like Cloverfield.
Oh, Cloverfield.
Yeah. So
so
just tack that onto my review. The fact that I hate found footage, love this movie. I think the genre worked really well here.
I think everyone would be happy to know that there is a Creep 2, and like, what does that mean?
If you like this movie, I would highly recommend Creep 2. There is a Creep 3 that's supposed to be happening. We don't know anything about it yet, but Creep 2, I think is even better than the first one because it takes its concept into a new direction. I don't know if I want to spoil kind of the general plot of Creep 2 here, but it takes the formula that we know and then kind of flips it and does some cool stuff with it, with the setup. So it's really interesting.
Just reading the synopsis for Creep 2. A video artist quickly realizes that they made a mistake when they meet a serial killer in the cabin.
There we go.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, is it sounds like it's like just another repeat sequel, but it actually it isn't. It isn't at all. It's completely different plot.
Yeah, I mean, going off of RT, which don't go off of RT. It's not a good idea. Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, Creep 2 has a 100% versus Creep 1's 92. So
that's so interesting.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Maybe I'll have to watch Creep 2 sometime. Well, I just want to thank everybody for listening to the Track Cast. We want to just say like, comment, subscribe, or whatever it is in the podcast world. Write in, email us, like us, follow us if you want to hear more us talking about movies.
We take fax. We take carrier pigeon.
We take fax. We take carrier pigeon. We'll even take an ancient tome or scroll here and there.
We'll take message in a bottle even too.
You know, I ran a message in a bottle service. It really wasn't worth the investment.
Was it very lucrative? Yeah.
No, we could just do a PO box, but like not actually. I say that like a real thing, but I don't want to.
Remember, send your pictures of us, your creepy pictures of us to the PO box.
Yeah, and tell us your favorite Tubby Time stories.
Don't do that.
We here at today's review of Assorted Cinema, aka the Track Cast, want to thank you for listening, and please do like us, follow us. Let us know if you want to hear about anything in the future. Let us know if you want us to watch anything. You know, show ideas, anything that you'd like to hear from us, or our opinions. We'd love to get some fan mail. Read it sometime. So I think that would be really, really fun. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
Fuck you, Mr. Beast.